Hi Year 2s, I hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to our second reading lesson of the week. And we're going to start by looking at another picture from the story Matilda. So the first question is an explain question. What does petrified mean? Pause the video and have a little think. Okay, great. So petrified, the little girl with the plaits, with the blue bows in her hair, she looks petrified. Petrified means extremely scared and afraid. She does look very scared in that picture. Her eyes are wide open and she looks petrified. Okay, next question is a retrieval question. What is around Miss Trunchbull's waist? So Miss Trunchbull is the head teacher there, the tall lady. What is around her waist? Pause the video. Great, well done. It is a belt that is around her waist. Okay, next question is an inference, interpret question. How do you think the children behind Miss Trunchbull feel? Have a look at their faces and their expressions. How do you think they feel? Pause the video to have a think. Okay, well done. They are looking quite worried, and also you could say they're looking quite surprised, or maybe you thought they're looking quite scared by the look on their faces. You can see one girl over here has got very wide eyes. This boy has got a sad face, looking quite worried. This boy might look a bit surprised or a bit shocked. His mouth is open. And this one has got a sort of a sad sort of mouth there, looking quite worried as well, with his hand on his face like this. So I would say they're looking worried or surprised or shocked even. Okay, and the last question we've got is a choice question. What do you think Miss Trunchbull is cross about? She does look quite cross in this picture. What do you think she's cross about? Okay, so you could have come up with lots of different options there. So you could have said something like she's very cross because the girl had done something naughty. Maybe she got some questions wrong in her lesson. She could have even been cross about that. Okay, right, let's move on. Today we're going to be looking at retrieval questions. So I'm going to read the text again that we had yesterday, and then I'm going to be answering some retrieval questions. Remember, retrieval questions are questions that we can find the answers exactly in the text. Okay. It's Wednesday and still the first week of school. Miss Honey tells her class that the Trunchbull will be sitting in on their class the next day. She visits each class every week. That means they have to be on their best behaviour so that they don't upset the Trunchbull. Miss Honey tells them to review what they've been studying so they can impress their visitor. Then their teacher explains that she needs a volunteer to get the Trunchbull's water jug and glass prepared and ready before the Trunchbull arrives. What happens next is either super brave or super stupid. Lavender volunteers because she wants to play a prank on the mean old lady. She sees it as a chance to win herself some glory. Lavender thinks really hard after school, and that night she goes to the pond in her family's garden to try and find a newt. Although it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, she catches one and puts it in her pencil case. Even though she can hardly contain herself, Lavender keeps the newt strictly secret when she brings it into school the next day. Just before the Trunchbull's visit to their class, Lavender gets her water glass and jug and brings them back to the classroom. Then she dumps the newt and pondweed into the jug. From the outside, you'd never know the jug had a newt in it. Mission accomplished. Lavender goes back to playing with her classmates. Okay, so the first question I've got is from the first part of the text. What does Miss Honey tell her class? Pause the video to have a little think. Okay, how did you get on? So what does Miss Honey tell her class? That's right. She tells them that Miss Trunchbull will be visiting the next day. So tomorrow she'll be visiting. Okay, let's have a look at another question from this part of the text. Why do the class have to be on their best behaviour? Pause the video to have another little think. Okay, how did you get on? So she tells the class to be on their best behaviour so that they don't upset the Trunchbull, upset Miss Trunchbull. That's what it says in the text. That means they have to be on their best behaviour so that they don't upset the Trunchbull. And let me just show you that there. There's the answer. Okay. Right, so you are going to be answering these questions today. The text is there, but it's also in your home learning book timetable as well. So I'd like you to write down these questions and then use the text to help you answer. So question 1, how can the children impress the visitor? Question 2, who volunteers to prepare Miss Trunchbull's water? Question 3, what does Lavender put into the jug? And question 4, we need to fill in the missing word here. Lavender keeps the newt, what, when she comes to school? So I'd like you to pause the video, and when you have answered those questions, you can play the video and we'll go through the answers. Off you go. Okay, how did you get on? Let's have a look at the answers. So the first one, how can the children impress the visitor? Let's have a look. Miss Honey tells them to review what they've been studying so they can impress the visitor. So they've got to review what they've been studying, what they've been learning. Let's see what the answer is. Okay, so there it says they need to review what they've been learning. They need to, let's just change that, review what they've been learning. Okay, and that is the answer to the first question. Next question. Who volunteers to prepare Miss Trunchbull's water? Well, let's have a look at the text. It says, what happens next is either super brave or super stupid. Lavender volunteers. So who volunteers to prepare Miss Trunchbull's water? Lavender does. Okay, next question. What does Lavender put into the jug? So the answer here is she puts in a newt and pondweed. Let's see where I can find that in the text. Just before the Trunchbull visits the class, Lavender gets her water glass and jug and brings them back to the classroom. Then she dumps, that means she puts in the newt and pondweeds. So she puts in a newt and pondweed. Okay, and let's look at the last question here. Lavender keeps the newt secret when she comes into school. Let's see where we can find that one. Lavender keeps the newt strictly secret when she brings it to school the next day. So the answer there is secret, that missing word. Okay, now I have got another question for everybody. It's a challenge question, so let's see what it is. So what I'd like you to do is to put the numbers 1 to 4 in the boxes to show the correct order the events happen in the text. So for example, the first thing that happened, you'll put number 1. So these are the options. Lavender goes to the pond in her garden. Miss Honey tells her class to review what they have been studying. Lavender puts the newt into the jug. Miss Honey tells the class Miss Trunchbull will be visiting. Let's see if we can work out what the answers are. I'd like you to pause the video, reread the text if you need to, have a go, and then play the video to find the answers. Okay, so let's see how you got on. Let's read the text and see if we can work out which one will be first. It's Wednesday and still the first week of school. Miss Honey tells her class that the Trunchbull will be sitting in on their class the next day. Oh, Miss Honey tells the class Miss Trunchbull will be visiting. So this one is the first bit of the text. That will be number 1. So I'm going to put number 1 there. Let's keep reading. That means they have to be on their best behaviour so they don't upset the Trunchbull. Miss Honey tells them to review what they've been studying. Ah, here it is. Miss Honey tells them to review what they've been studying. So that is number 2. Miss Honey tells her class to review what they've been studying. Number 2. Okay, so we've got Lavender goes to the pond in her garden, and then we've got Lavender puts the newt into the jug. Lavender thinks really hard after school, and that night she goes to the pond in her family's garden. Ah, she goes to the pond in her family's garden. That must be number 3. Lavender goes to the pond in her garden. So the last one must be number 4. Let's just check that we can find that is the right answer. To find a newt, although it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, she catches one and puts it in her pencil case. Even though she can hardly contain herself, Lavender keeps the newt strictly secret when she brings it to school the next day. Just before the Trunchbulls visit to their class, Lavender gets her water glass and jug and brings them back to the classroom. Then she dumps the newt and pond weeds into the jug. There we go. So that's number 4. Well done if you got them right. And I will see you again later on. Bye.